demonstration, we're just going to show you how to create a simple web page from a Notepad file to a HTML file. Now, we're just going to use the same code that we just used on W3 Schools to basically show this demonstration, to present it, and to show you all how the conversion occurs and happens on the computer itself. So first thing I'm going to do is go on to Notepad. Now, you could use Microsoft Word or Notepad, or finally Notepad++. The Notepad++ actually works where it actually colors the code, where it gives you easier time to read and interpret which part the code is basically going to do. So I just want to take some random code that I got from, what is this? Let's get a new tab because I don't know what is that. Alright, I'm just going to paste some code. Now this is the same code that we basically utilize on the W3 School site. Okay, now I'm not going to really change anything there because I just want to show you all what is going to present itself when you are going to create or change it to a website page. Now how we go about doing that is basically hitting on file here and save as. Now the website content format is not going to be a doc file. It's going to be either XML file or a HTML file, because HTML is basically the format for website creation for that HTML language. So how we go about doing this, we can give it, okay, I'm just going to give it a name. First website. Now try not to do too much of spacing when you are creating the name for it, right? Because when it's coded, it says, how to say, I want to say a procedure that you must always follow, because what has happened, it basically, when you put spacing in code, sometimes it doesn't work, right? So try not to do any. So you can do .html, or you could change this entirely to all files, but make sure you put that .html. The .html is what converts that doc format or notepad format into an HTML. So I want to save it somewhere where I could see it, so you could actually see the change occur. Now, everybody saved a notepad file before, so it is normally be like a nice little kind of a page with 3 lines. That is the icon for it. But when I save this, I'm going to put it in desktop so you all can see it. I'm just going to minimize this, and you will see here, this is the first site. It looks like a Chrome. The reason why it looks like Chrome and not like, let me say, the Microsoft Edge or any other browser that you normally use, because that is my default. Okay, so what you need to do now is basically double click it, and you will see the same data as the website as basically good. Now the URL is very important, because this is the location of where the data is, and the reason why you need to know this is because when you have to add an image, the image must be in the same location of where the website location is. Because again, it's the content, right? Same thing like when you have your OneDrive, your data is going to be in the OneDrive storage. It's not going to be anywhere else but only OneDrive storage. For anything that is saved on your computer, it's on the computer itself and stays there and it will locate it. Now, not saying that it's not going to entirely work, but it's always good practice. And sometimes, in a rare case, it may not basically appear on the website. Okay? Now, you already created and saved you already created it and saved it as a HTML file. So how do we go about changing it back, or to do editing? If you want to add a text, if you want to add like a background color or something, how do we do this? All you have to do is open up that same website, but in that icon you don't double click, because it's going to automatically go on to the Chrome browser. So you have to go back on and right click, and you have to say open with, and you have to look for the app. So the app that you want to use is going to be Notepad, because that's basically what you just used. So you see it pops back up, and that's basically how you go about doing editing. So let's try to put another heading. I'm just going to put H2 instead of H1 here, just to do a representation. Right, so I'm just going to put it down here a bit, and let's just say, what is that, H2 here. Now, when you're getting into coding, it's mostly sometimes a little copying and pasting, but it's not always good practice, because sometimes that is basically kind of confuse you a bit, because you have to learn it. So for me personally, I couldn't just watch code and learn it. I had to write it down. So try to write some of the basic or the default ways for the coding and it should be fine. So for H2 here, I'm just going to put let's say P for example. And I'm just going to save this. So once you save it, and if the website is open still, all you have to do is reload it, right? Or refresh the page. And you actually see the lowercase because of the H2, it's a little smaller. So just two functions I want to show you all quickly. One is going to be a web hyperlink, and the next one should be just an image or something, or the background color. So you're probably asking yourself, so how can I remember all that information? That's going to be so hard to remember for me. So how do I go about? So this is where we come back to the W3 schools to get that data. Because you're just going to take that format and you're just going to put it to what you want it as. So how are we going to do this? So first thing we could start with is with color. Right? Now, we have some main colors that you want to basically try. Again, the coding is be basically right here, as you all are seeing. Okay? So again, we want the entire background color. So again, is there some things you have to look for and you should be able to get it. Now, in this example, you would see the color is going to change the text, right? And nothing else. We want to change other things as well. So we're going to look at some styles that we could look at. Okay? And these styles are going to represent the different colors that you want to change. So I want to change background color. So I go into HTML styles, background color. This is the code here. So body style is equal to background color powder blue. So let's try that. Now, every time you are using code or copying and pasting code, not all the time it's going to work. Just depending on if something is counter conflicting you guys on the code in itself or it's just a problem. So I'm just going to copy and paste this just to show you guys. Now, you would always want to put background code, color, and everything within the body section. If it doesn't work, they are taken out of the body section because if there's two code that is conflicting at the same time, that's what causes it not to work. So try to save it. And I have the website up as still. So let's see. And you actually see the color change. You all see it? You all saw it? It's gone to powder blue. So powder blue is not so far from it. Right? So let me see if I can just put red and see if that works. I'm going to save it again. Right, that one more presentable. Right? So again, it's just some of the things you could change and alter within the coding. Right? But just know that the tedious thing is that you have to be back and forth with, saving the document and then reloading the page. Right? So this is just one narrow way to just change the background color. Right? So I'll take off the blue and put it back to powder blue because I find the powder blue it could have been a little easier to see. Right. Now, just some things that you can note for yourself is that you can just do Control Save to save it quickly. Right? Control All or Control Copy and Paste if you want to do certain things on it. Okay? Right. So let me just say we want to add a link first and then we'll try the image after, right? So again, I can just look for the links, HTML links, and when you go on to this website is really awesome. So you can basically check it through. This is the format that you normally have. w3schools.com. Right? So if I want to use the format, there it is. Now, just basically where you see the quotations is where you would want to basically set that information. So I'm going to take this format here. I'm going to put it within the body again. And put the link somewhere with the text. So where the quotation is basically where you'll put the URL information. And the URL information is basically what's going to set it to go to that website. So I'm just going to put youtube.com. And in the text or the link text, it should go to visit YouTube. So I'm just going to put that. Alright, I am going to save this and just reload the page. That link should appear. So you see the visit YouTube website. So basically that's how you go about. Once you click it, they say the file can be accessed because it's on a local platform. So that is why it basically went through. Okay, so I don't want it to be I feel like how I'm in school, the school account as well. That could be probably better. But that's basically the link. The last thing I would like to show you guys is to actually add an image. So the adding the image could sometimes be a little complex, but again it's perfectly okay. So just note that when you're going to use the image, you don't want to set the borders and thing one time. So you go all the way down where it has the one with the width. You don't necessarily have to put the alt in terms of if the image doesn't show up or appear, you'll make a change straight. So, two things you need to do: have the image name and the image format. So, what do I mean by that? What image do I have here? So I'm going to downloads. Hey, right. So I add the picture of Kamala. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that within the desktop, right? Because remember, where my save file is, it's on the desktop. So what I'm going to do here first, I'm just going to minimize all of this. I'm going to make sure I'm seeing the image here, right? So this is the name of the image, camera. And then I'm going to go onto properties. Now I need to go on properties because I need to know the format of that image. So they are JPG, they are JPEG, they are PNG. So this one in this case is WebP. Now sometimes this format don't really work, but again I will try to see if it works, right? And then get back to see if it probably works properly. So how we go about doing that? We go in and get the text here. So I'm going to take this whole text because I need it. I'm going to paste it within this document here. And let's put it below the SB on the paragraph. Right. So I know the name of the picture is Kamala. And the format is WebP. And I know that Kamala is the Prime Minister. So I'm going to put that here within the alt. And I'm just going to leave it here at 500 px, which is the pixel and the size, right? Because the width and the height is basically what they're going to do. I'm going to basically hit a save. So I'm going to go Control S to save. And you all will see if it basically pops up. Right? And there we go. So if you realize the picture is a bit big, so you can resize it or get some default size that's going to suit your website. So if I just take these down here and say, all right, let's just put this to, let's just say about 80. And I'm going to put this as 80 as well. So it should put a square shape. Save it. Once I save it, you will see it actually narrows down to what you would like. Now you can also center it. There's a center function, but we're not going to go through all of that today. Just showing you how to actually add the image. So just some things for you all to note, right? And I hope this picks up in the recording, is that with the links, two things you need to basically remember. For the link, make sure you get inside the full website name. So, for example, www.google.com. Right? And this is what goes with the quotation. Okay? So it goes like this on quotation like this. So that's what I think. For the picture, right? Know the name. Of the image. And the format. Right? And once you know the name and the format, you should be able to basically alter the size to your liking. But that's basically it. Now, if you all have any questions, of course, you all can leave any comments onto the video, right? And of course, you all can give it a try at your own personal time. Now this is of course, yes, a kind of a complex way to basically build a website from scratch. I will be showing you all how to create it easier within the next class. Okay, so that's basically